In this video, I'm going to teach you everything you need to know to grow your online fitness business. And this is going to work for you even if you're just starting out, even if you have no experience at all, even if you have a small following. What I'm going to teach you in this video will help you get your first online training clients. And if you've already been doing some online training, well, what you're about to learn in this video is going to really take you to the next level. And to be clear, this is a full course that I'm giving you for free here on YouTube. And I'm well suited to teach you this because I've been a personal trainer for over 25 years. And I was one of the first people to ever do online training back in 2009, 2010, around that time. All of us who were doing online training back then, we had to invent it. There was no playbook. Social media was in its infancy and we were all figuring it out on the fly. But I did figure it out and I was able to build a multi-7-figure online fitness business. I've made millions of dollars as an online trainer, not teaching it as an online trainer, but now I do teach it. I've taught over 15,000 people how to grow their successful online fitness businesses, and you're about to learn for free right now. So here's what you're going to learn in this free course. It's going to be broken up into 3 sections. How online training works. This section is going to show you how to actually train your clients so they get great results, even if you don't have a lot of experience. The second section is going to be all about how you can market yourself as an online trainer and stand out amongst all the competition. This is going to show you how to stand out in a saturated market, even if you're starting fresh with no followers. And the third section is going to be how to actually make sales, how to get to the money. So this is going to be all about how to make sales as an online trainer. I'm going to break down the entire sales process and give you the scripts that you need to make the sales. And there's also a study guide to go along with this video to help you really master the principles that you're about to learn. Make sure you hit the link in the description and download that free study guide so you can get the most out of this. All for free. Nobody's doing this. Nobody's giving out this much game for free. So let's start from the beginning, how online training works. So what we're not going to be doing is Zoom workouts with these people. We're not going to be on Skype or FaceTime while they're in the gym. That's insane, man. What we do, the way I teach online training and the way I made millions, you're going to be giving your clients a customized workout plan and a customized nutrition plan. But the most important part is you're going to be keeping them accountable. And the accountability is the most important part. Now, I'm going to show you how to keep them accountable momentarily. But first, we need to dispel a few myths. See, a lot of trainers think that online training doesn't work as well as in-person training because they can't help their clients with their form and make sure they're doing exercise perfect or something stupid like that. And I used to think that too. But then I realized, what's the most important part of getting in shape? Is it the diet or the exercise? Yeah, it's the diet. Because we all know you cannot out-train a bad diet, but you can out-diet bad training. And the reason online training works better for the client than in-person training is because we put way more emphasis on the diet. See, when I was an in-person trainer 25 years ago, some of y'all wasn't even born. I would train my clients for an hour in the gym, maybe a few times a week. But when I'm training for an hour, yeah, they would get a great workout and I made sure their form was perfect. But what about the other 23 hours of the day? Yeah, they worked out with me for 1 hour, but they got 23 more hours to fuck up everything else. And that's exactly what these people do. If you're an in-person trainer, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Now, I used to always think, what if I could actually make sure that these people follow the diet plan, make sure these people hit their calories and their macros each day. I knew if I did that, I'd be able to get way better results from my clients. And after some trial and error, I kind of figured out a method that I'm going to teach you in a second. Now, once I started using this method to actually make sure my clients hit their macros and their calories every day, I started getting way better results from my clients. And word started to spread and people from all over started asking me to train them, but sometimes these people weren't in the same cities. And I could have just gave them a workout plan and a diet plan, but the key was keeping them accountable. This is kind of how I started online training. Like I was able to train people from all over with this method. Now, before I show you exactly what the method is, let me just explain to you why it works so well. Here was a study that was done at Duke University where they took a bunch of fat people and all they did was tell these fatties to track their calories and macros for 90 days in MyFitnessPal. They didn't give them any diet. They didn't give them no workout plan. They didn't have them doing keto, intermittent fasting, carnivore. They just said, hey, fatty, start tracking your calories and your macros every day for 90 days instead of just putting anything in your mouth like a whore, the way you've been doing your whole life. Guess what happened? After 90 days, the average person lost 5 pounds of fat. You may be thinking 5 pounds of fat in 90 days. That's not that impressive. And it's not until you remember they gave them no plan. They got nothing, zero, zilch, nada. And they still lost weight because they were tracking. So the thing is, when people start tracking their calories and their macros, they start making better decisions because they're more cognizant of what they're eating. So I wanted to show you the studies so you know that, hey man, even if you gave them nothing, they'd make some progress. Now, of course, we're going to give them a diet plan and give them a workout plan. But even if they got nothing and you just make sure they track their diet, they would get in better shape. But here's the thing. The scientists were keeping these people accountable. They were making sure they would do it. These fatties wouldn't have did that on their own. And that's our job as trainers, to keep our clients accountable. AI can't replace us with that. But AI can actually make our job a lot easier by helping us with the diet plan and workout plan, but it cannot keep another person accountable. Even if you set up an AI agent to text you every day and see if you hit your workout, there's no consequences for ignoring the robots. But it's way more difficult to ignore a human, right? So let me show you how AI can make it easier. So the first thing we need to do is give them a diet and workout plan. So you can go into ChatGPT, Gemini, or Gronk if you're nasty, and you're gonna put in this prompt. I am training this is where you put the person's age and gender, a 30-year-old man who weighs 230 pounds at 5'9". Okay, so that's the first part of the prompt. So you say who you're training, age, gender, how much this person weighs, and their height, and you'll get that from the client. Now we're gonna put in the client's goals. He wants to lose 30 pounds. Next, we're gonna put in his activity level. He has a sedentary job and is not very active. And now we tell ChatGPT what we want to do for him. Pause. Make him a workout plan that has him lifting weights 4 days a week. You don't have to use those 4 days a week. That's what I would give a client, but you may have your clients working 3 days a week, twice a week, 5 times a week, 2 a days. Whatever works for you, you put that in here, whatever your training protocol is. So you can put in push, pull, leg split or something, or full body workout or something. Matter of fact, I'm gonna do it like that. 4 days a week with an upper body, lower body split, right? So put that in there, what you want him to do. Say how much cardio you want to give him. And he should be doing 1 hour of steady state cardio on the days he does not lift, and 30 minutes of steady state cardio on days that he does lift. So that's the part of the prompt. So check it out. Here's how this prompt works, right? Say who you're training, age, weight, height, his goals, and activity level. Skynet needs to know about this guy, right? His plans and what he's got going on. Then we're giving him the order, make a workout plan that has him lifting. So make a workout plan, and you put whatever you would prescribe someone. If you don't know, just say workout plan, right? If you're just starting, you don't have no experience, say workout plan. If you do have experience and you have protocols that you want to abide by, put it in here. This could be as detailed or as simple as you'd like it to be. Then you're going to hit space, enter, and you're going to give Skynet another command. I also want you to make him a diet plan. If this person has some foods that they don't like or do like, you can tell them to exclude some of those foods or include them. This is very effective if this person has any allergies or dietary restrictions, or something that abides by the way that you train people, right? I do keto, so if I'm training people, I'm gonna have them on keto. You don't have to do that. You can have them super high carbs. You can have them doing pescatarian if it fits your macros. Put these foods on carnivore if you want, right? But I'm gonna say make him a keto diet plan. Make sure you don't include chicken breasts. I think chicken breasts are gross. Chicken breasts are for women. Make sure he gets 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, and make sure he is in a low enough calorie deficit to lose 30 pounds in 90 days. That's legit. That's a little bit over 2 pounds of fat per week. And that's not crazy because it won't be all fat. He's immediately going to lose a lot of water weight, right? That's going to be all your clients. But he needs to lose 30 pounds in 90 days. All right, cool. So that's your prompt. So this is the diet portion of your prompt. You said make him a diet plan, and then you can include whatever you want in there. Me, I said a keto diet plan. You could just say a diet plan, the vegan diet plan, doesn't matter. You make sure you exclude the stuff that he doesn't like the way I don't like chicken breasts. And then any other parameters that you feel are important. I think it's important to get 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. But if you have different protocols that you would prescribe your clients, that's what you do. And then here's what it's going to spit out. Let's go. Boom. So now we got the workout plan. 4-day split, upper, lower. Boom. Looking good. And we have him a diet plan. Whole thing is done for you. Spit out. So don't worry, you can get this prompt and 100 other prompts to help you grow your online fitness business in the study guide. I put together tons of ChatGPT prompts that will help you train your clients, grow your following, and really help build your business. That's going to come free with the study guide. Click the link in the description. They work in ChatGPT, Gemini, or you can even use them in Claude if you swing that way. Now, when I first started, this would take a long time because we had to do it by hand. It's going to be a lot easier for you. Now, we're going to give them this diet plan, but how do we make sure they do it? How do we keep them accountable? Well, check this out. There are way more sophisticated ways to do this than what I'm about to teach you, but this is how I first started. I don't want to teach you the real super sophisticated ways where you're using apps or making your own app or something like that. I want to give you something where you can get started today for free. So there's a resource that I made for you, and it's very similar to what I helped my clients track their diet when I first started, because apps and stuff didn't exist. The iPhone had just came out when I was training people. So I used Google Sheets, and I've included this Google Sheet for you. So what you can do is you're going to get this Google Sheet and you're going to share it with your client, right? So that way you guys are collaborators. And on this sheet, this is this page is an overview of everything you're doing for the week. So once you get this sheet, what you're going to do is you're going to go here, you're going to make a copy. And you can get this for free. It's in the study guide, the link in the description. So you can get this for free. And once you get it, you open it up, make a copy, because you won't be able to edit this. Make a copy of Fitness Blueprint 2004. The reason it says 2004 because we used to sell this, right? But you're going to get it for free from the link in the description. All right. So now you have one that you can edit, right? So clients' results. So you can have them track stuff. I have them track their mood. I like to make my clients meditate, but you can delete that if you want. That's part of my protocol. Or you can change this to something else, something else that you feel like important, right? But did they work out? What's their weight? Did they hit their macros? They chart yes, no, all this stuff. So they track how many hours did you sleep last night? Boom, have them put in there. Because sleep is important too. Like if your clients aren't sleeping, they're not going to lose fat or build muscle. So he slept 8 hours. He was feeling great. He meditated. You can change this to something else if you want. That's part of my protocol. Did they work out? Was it yes, no, rest? Yes. Did he hit his macros? Yes. Cool. Here's where it gets cool. So now he puts his weight in here. Remember we said that this dude was 230 pounds. Protein intake. Let's say we got 230 grams of protein. And he puts in how much fats he had. Let's just say he followed our plan. 100 grams. He had 100 grams of fat. Let's call it 25 carbs. So what it does is it adds up the calories consumed, right? It's something I like to do is I like to have them track how many calories they burn that day. So I tell my clients, hey, man, get yourself some sort of fitness tracker, a Oura Ring, a WAP, Apple Watch, something that tracks your calories. You can even get a Samsung watch if you want. The problem with Samsung watches though is if you start wearing a Samsung watch, you're basically taking a vow of celibacy. In all of human history, I don't think there's been a documented case of a man having sexual intercourse with a human woman while wearing a Samsung watch. I don't think that's ever happened. And that's fine. Maybe that's part of his goal. Maybe he's like a Buddhist monk or something. He took his vow of celibacy, at which point Samsung watch would be a good option for him. But anyway, you get something for him to track his calories he burned each day. Let's say this guy burnt 2,500 calories that day, and it adds up the deficit. This is important. This is dope because now burning fat is just math, right? For every pound of fat you want to lose, you have to burn 3,500 calories. And if this guy's in a 500 calorie deficit every day, he's going to lose a pound of fat per week, right? And we just keep doing this, boom. And then what happens is on the overview page, it starts to average these things out on the overview page. Then you can have his client put his before picture, after picture, all that stuff over here. But this is the most important part. So now we're tracking the calories. Now you may be thinking, yeah, man, but what about the client's form? What about him doing perfect form? Man, fuck that shit. You can't out train a bad diet, but you can out diet bad training. This is the most important part. This is it. And that's all we really need. So what we're going to do is how we're going to keep them accountable is every day. We're going to message our clients. We're going to check this sheet to message our clients. If they didn't put their numbers in, we'll be like, hey, DeMarcus, man, what happened? We need you to put your numbers in there, bro. Come on, let's go. Or, however you talk to your clients, you might be nicer to me. You might have a kinder disposition. Me, I might fucking crash out. I might fucking lose it if he didn't put it in there. You might be kinder to me. Whatever your proclivities are as it pertains to accountability, implement those. He just needs to know you're watching him. Pause. If he did track, let's say he did put his numbers in and he hit his numbers, then we say, yo, man, congratulations. Great job hitting your numbers yesterday, your calories and macros. It was perfect. Let's keep up that momentum for today. If he tracked and he didn't hit his macros or his calories and you say, yo, DeMarcus, man, what happened yesterday, bro? How can we get you back on point, man? Let me know how I can help you get on point today so we can make sure you accomplish your goals, bro. And this way, now they have someone keeping them accountable. They probably never had this before in their life. AI can't do that. Sure, maybe you can set up some AI Skynet chat bot agent, but an agent ain't gonna do that. I don't care if you got Agent Smith, it ain't gonna do it. And even if it did, you can ignore it. You just hit delete. They can ignore their trainer, but it's way more difficult to ignore a real human, right? Especially one that you paid money to. You get what I'm saying? This is the cheat code. If you're super concerned about them having perfect form or something, have them record some of their workouts and send it to you, man. So you're going to be hitting up each one of your clients every morning, right? That's how you start your day. You hit up your clients. You'll be able to manage this up until around 40 to 50 clients. And at which point you'll have to start hiring people to help you out. But by then you're making so much money that it shouldn't matter, right? And we're going to get into the pricing and the money and all that stuff later in the course. So that's really what you're going to be delivering: the workout plan, the diet plan, and daily accountability. Also, you're going to be available if they need questions, right? If they have any questions, if they need anything, then you'll answer their questions. But what you're not going to do is have them texting you on the same number where your family and friends is texting you, because you're not at their becking call all day, right? They can send as many questions as they want. You're going to answer them all those questions at the end of the day. So you're going to tell them they get 24-hour support, but you're going to put them in a different app or a different phone. When I first started online training, I had a different phone, but now you can get different apps where you can give them a number. There's an app called Burner where you can set up different phone lines. That's probably the most popular one. Or Google Voice, something like that. And you're not even gonna look at that shit to the end of the day, but you're gonna look at it at the end of every day and you're gonna answer every one of their questions. Boom. So now guess what? You're in contact with them every morning and every night. What more can they ask for? And you'll just let them know that, man, you can ask me as many questions as you want, and I'll make sure I answer all your questions every day. I won't answer them as soon as you send them, but I will make sure all your questions get answered every day. This is where you're gonna set the tone of how you're going to communicate with them during this relationship. Because what you don't want to be doing is answering clients' questions all fucking day. You out with your friends, you have to answer your client's question right away. Or you with your wife or your girlfriend, and they're going to be like, man, who's that texting you all the time? You don't want that. I don't want that for you, brother. You in bed and someone texts you in the middle of the night. Nah, man, they should have a different communication channel. And if you want, another thing you can do is you can have check-in calls once a week, where you jump on Skype with them or Zoom and you do a check-in call with them once a week. That's optional though. This is the most important part, keeping them accountable. The accountability is the most important part. You can download this resources for free that says study guide in the description of this video. This is the most important part. You can start training clients with this right now. How much did you charge for all this? Well, we have a few different pricing models. You can charge more than this if you want, but don't charge less than this. Charge less than this is crackhead prices. We're not crackhead trainers like, oh man, baby. Man, I train you for $25. We're not doing that. So here's the structure. You're gonna have 3 different pricing plans. 16 weeks, you're gonna charge $997 or $1,000, right? But $997. If you're gonna charge them monthly, that's gonna be $297 a month or $300. Or you can charge weekly at $80 a week. Now here's the thing. If you had just 25 clients, let's say you got them all on the lowest plan, $80 a week, 25 clients at $80 a week, now you're making $104,000 per year. $104,000 per year, just 25 clients. This is why you don't need to have a huge following to make a lot of money in this game. You don't need 1 million followers to get 25 clients. You don't need 100,000 followers to get 25 clients. You don't need 10,000 followers to get 25 clients. I'm gonna show you how to get the clients later in this video, but just know, man, 25 clients is 6 figures. And each trainer can manage about around 50 clients on their own. After 50, you have to start hiring people. But at that point, you're making like $200,000 a year. You can afford to hire some people. We teach that in HTT, how to take it to that level, but don't worry about that yet. Let's get you your first clients first. Now, some of you are thinking that $80 a week is a lot of money. It's like $11 a day, bro. Americans spend more than that at Starbucks and OnlyFans. If you're thinking that, man, $80, that's so much money, who's gonna pay that? It's because you poor. You are poor and you're thinking from your viewpoint. We got to think outside of your viewpoint. Everybody's not as fucking broke as you. Some of us contribute to the economic mobility of the economy. Some of us are contributing to GDP and we are rewarded for it as a result. We got some bread. For example, any gym you go to, you'll see trainers training people for a living, right? And each one of those people are paying the trainer on average about $100 per session. And you have to see your trainer at least 3 times a week. So they're paying $300 per week for an inferior product, because that trainer is not going to make sure that they follow their diet. And remember, diet's the most important part. I don't care how much you work out, you can't out-train a bad diet. So they're charging them more for the least effective part. And this is coming from a person who's been a personal trainer in person. I started in the 90s, the late 90s, during the Clinton administration. It was motherfucking hammer time. Nelly's first album had just came out and I was training people, 10 people a day. Nelly retired. I've been doing this for mad long. And I'm telling you, online training is better and it's cheaper. So now you're offering them a better product for cheaper, because they're doing their workout and their diet plan on their own. Now you can train more people, charge them less, and make more money for yourself, because you're not exchanging time for money. It only takes a little bit of time to text motherfuckers every night and every morning. You can manage all your clients in less than an hour a day, up to around 50. Yeah, at 50, it might be 90 minutes, but you got to get the clients. That's gonna bring us to the next part of this video, where we talk about how to market yourself as an online trainer. So what I'm about to show you now is how you can get clients, your first 25 clients, without having to have a big following, without having to have any experience, without having to have a certification, and without being super jacked. Sometimes people say, Brandon, I don't look like you. How can I be an online trainer? I'm like, well, first of all, man, set obtainable goals. Don't set yourself up for failure and disappointment trying to look like me. No, I'm just playing. But I'm going to break the whole thing down for you. All right. Now, the one thing I want to say about certifications, you don't need a certification to be an online trainer. In fact, you don't need a certification to be an in-person trainer. Gyms want you to have certifications more for insurance reasons, but there's no law saying you have to be certified to train anybody with anything. All right. And there is a rumor going around. I don't know who spread it, this nonsense, but there's a rumor saying that you have to be a registered dietitian to give people diet plans. And that's the craziest shit I've ever heard, but it's a common misnomer. The truth is, you only need to be a registered dietitian if you are giving advice, cure some sort of disease. We ain't out here trying to cure cancer. We ain't out here trying to cure AIDS with diet. We're just helping people get in shape, and you don't need no certification for that. And having a certification doesn't mean you're a good trainer. It just means you memorize some shit. That's all it means. But I'm not saying you shouldn't get certified. I'm certified with NASM, certified trainer and nutritionist with NASM, right? But I did it back when I was working with people in gyms, and I kind of had to. To be an online trainer, you don't need none of that. All right, but let's check it out. So how do you do this? How do you market yourself? You may be thinking, man, it's so much competition. There's so many trainers out there. It's oversaturated. How can I stand out? And a lot of people think that until they learn what I'm about to teach you, the most important part. Before I get into it, let me ask you a question. Let's say there's a doctor, Dr. A. And Dr. A, he'll treat anybody for anything. Kid comes in there with an ear infection, you treat him. If a dude goes into his office and his throat hurt, he'll treat him. If a chick walk in there with an STD, he'll treat her, right? He'll help anybody with anything. Then we have Dr. B. He only does one thing. He's a heart surgeon. He operates on hearts, cuts people open, starts messing with their heart until they're healthy. That's all he does. Who you think makes more money? Dr. B. Why? Because he's a specialist. Specialists always make more money than generalists. Let's say there's another doctor who does LASIK eye surgery. That's all he does, LASIK eye surgery. He's been doing it for decades. That's all he does. But then Dr. A, the same motherfucker who just treated that girl's chlamydia, says, yeah, man, after I give this girl the chlamydia pills, put this kid's arm in the cast, and fix this guy's toenail, I'll laser up your eyes a little bit. Matter of fact, I'll do it for cheap. Fuck that. I don't want this doctor to laser my eyes. I don't want him zapping my eyes. I don't care how cheap it is. I don't even want the cheapest. I want the best. I'm going to the laser doctor. All he does is laser eye surgery people's eyes, zapping eyes all day for decades. That's all he does. That's the guy I want to go to. So you can put that laser right pew, and fix my eyes because he's a specialist. I'm gonna go to the specialist. So I say all to say, online training is only saturated if you are a generalist. If you're just a regular fitness guy or fitness girl, now you got to compete with all the fitness guys and all the fitness girls on earth. Like, how many do you think there are? Like, how many guys or girls have trainer in their bio? Millions. You're right. You don't want to compete with all them. It is saturated. We want to separate ourselves from them by becoming what? Specialists. Here's how you do it. First thing you need to do is figure out who you want to help. So we need to do that by carving out our niche. This N stands for niche. That's the good N word. This is real nicher shit, right? We're going to niche down. So when it comes to the niche, you need to think about who you want to help, what problem you want to solve for those people, and how are you going to solve that problem. So the first thing you need to do is pick the gender you want to help. We need a gender and we need an age group. Every time I say, who do you want to help, men or women? A lot of people say both, especially people who've been trainers for a long time. They're going to say both. If you're a good trainer, you can train men, women, children. I'll train any mammal. I'll train a dog, cat, deer, maybe even lizards. You know, I ain't never trained a lizard, but I'm sure I can get them good results. They cold-blooded and they lay eggs, so it might be some differentiation. But I think the laws of thermodynamics still apply to them. Insects is where it get weird because they got exoskeletons, and I'm not familiar with that. Anyway, they'll say both men and women, right? The thing is, yeah, you can train men and women, but can you market to men and women effectively? Let me ask you a question. Do you and your girlfriend watch all the same shit? No, my girl was watching Whore Island, Love Island, whatever it's called, and I can't stand that shit. No way I'm gonna watch it. And then I'll be watching Sports Center, and she don't want to watch people talk about sports, but I probably watch that more than anything. Men and women are into different shit. For example, look at this deodorant and look at the packaging. Look at the name. Look at the font, right? Look at the colors. Then look at this deodorant. Look at the name. Look at the packaging. Look at the font, colors. Which one do you think is for men and which one do you think is for women? Yeah, this one's for men. Just look at how it's marketed and look how this one is marketed. Guess what? It's the same fucking company. It's Procter & Gamble. The ingredients are almost the same because men and women have very similar sweat glands and deodorant. Women be stanking too. Some women out here smelling like grown men. So a man could use this deodorant and be perfectly fine. A woman can use this deodorant and be perfectly fine. And it's the same company, almost the same ingredients. Procter & Gamble makes them both. But Procter & Gamble is smart enough to know that they can't market to men the same way they market to women. So what do, they have separate brands. For imagine if you wanted to sell a deodorant to men and women, what color would you make it? What font would you use? What would you name it? You definitely wouldn't name it Secret, right? And you probably wouldn't put Sweat Defense Pure Sport for if you marketed it to women, you know? That maybe like some WNBA women, those fellas are probably using this. Here's another example. This is another deodorant based example. This is a full body deodorant. Who do you think is marketed to? There's another full body deodorant. Same exact company, same exact ingredients. Which one do you think is for men and which one is for women? This one's called Mando and has a fox on it, right? They put a fucking predator on this shit and called it Mando. And look at the font they used. This one is called Lume, and they use a different font, different colors. It's the same shit, same company, different brands. So if these fucking billion-dollar companies are smart enough to know they can't market to men and women, why the fuck do you think you can? Remember, the thing is, we have to niche down. We can't market to everyone because we market to everyone, then we market to no one. And then we also need to pick an age group. And it should be like a 10-year age group. So like 30 to 40, 25 to 35, 20 to 30, something like that. Because people within that age group think the same. A lot of times people will say, man, I want to train people between the ages of 20 and 50. Well, here's the thing. A 50-year-old ain't thinking the same way a 20-year-old is. Even if you said 20 to 40, a 20-year-old is not thinking the same way a 40-year-old is. They want to get ripped for different reasons. They have different shit going on. I'm 42. I don't think the same way I thought when I was 20. The same kind of marketing doesn't appeal to me. The shit that the young kids are into, I'm not gonna be into. I don't even speak their language. They're saying words like Riz, Huz, 6, 7. I don't even know what this shit means. I don't wanna know. In fact, if I incorporated those words in my vernacular, it'd be weird hearing an old man talk like that. And people aren't into the same stuff. For example, my girl, she was watching Lovely Island last night. My mom wasn't watching that shit. My mom's a senior citizen, right? She was watching Steve Harvey or whatever old black women watch at night. I don't know. So you got to pick a gender and age group. When I first started making money as an online trainer, I focused on men, no Diddy. And the age group was 20 to 30, right? So my marketing was a lot different because the stuff that's going to appeal to that demographic won't appeal to older demographics. Like if you're in your 20s right now, your dad wasn't watching Andrew Tate videos last year, probably, you know what I'm saying? And no disrespect to Andrew, that's my dog, but you get what the fuck I'm trying to say. Then you got to figure out what problem do you want to help them solve, right? Because business is all problem solving. When I work out, I sweat like a whore in church, and I'm a smell in those circumstances. And Old Spice sweat defense solved that problem for me. I exchanged currency for that problem to be solved. I needed cameras to film these dope ass videos I make for YouTube. The good people at Sony solved that problem for me. And I paid them a lot of money for all these cameras. Look at this shit. Look how many cameras I got. That's mad cameras. So you got to figure out what problem do you want to help them solve. And it could be anything. But for me, when I first started, I helped men get ripped. And that was their language. As a trainer, I knew that meant that they wanted to be muscular with low body fat. So I only focused on making content that will help this guy, this age, solve this problem. So that's all I focused on. I didn't care if anybody wanted to be a power lifter, a pro athlete, if they wanted to be big as a bodybuilder. I didn't care if they were obese and wanted to lose 200 pounds. Here's the thing, as an in-person trainer, I've helped all those people. I've trained pro athletes, I've trained female bikini models and fashion models. I've trained obese motherfuckers, right? But I know I couldn't market to everyone. So my marketing was all about getting ripped, helping men solve this problem. And here's the thing, when we're talking about this problem that they want to solve, right? When we're talking about this problem, it's very important. You got to think about, why does this person want to solve this problem? So think about it. Why does a man age 20, 30 want to get ripped? Anybody know? Yeah, for the huzz. That's what the kids are saying, right? If you look at my content from like 10, 15 years ago, I was always surrounded by beautiful women, working out with beautiful women. And the context was, hey man, if you get in shape like this, you're gonna get some of the huzz. Now here's the thing, if we were to change the age group from like 40 to 50, then the why changes. Now the why would be something like, so now I don't wanna get ripped for the huzz. I wanna stay in great shape so I have more energy to do cool shit with my son. So I'm not the fat dad at the trampoline park. Or when I took my son to Disney World, y'all been to Disney World, it's humongous, right? And my son, he wanted to be on my neck the whole time, riding on my shoulders. Dude weighs like 50 pounds, and he wants to ride on my shoulders. That's his preferred method of travel. All day, had 50 pounds on my neck, walking around Disney World for hours. I was training for that, right? I just want to be, and I'm thinking about longevity. I've picked up a lot of injuries around the way, so now I gotta make sure that I take care of my body so it functions long term. I wasn't thinking about that in my 20s, right? So the why changes when the demo changes. A woman this age, she might not be wanting to get in great shape for the guys. Maybe she wants the guys, maybe, but it's like ugly chicks can get guys. You know what I'm saying? There's a 5 right now, ignoring your text messages, leaving you on red. So it's just gonna be different. When you change demographic, the why changes. That's why it's so important to have a demo, right? Now, when you're a generalist, you can't really go towards the why. If you're just a fitness guy, then the why is not potent, right? Then we got to go to the how. So with the how, you got to think, how are you going to help them accomplish this goal? And you got to pick something. In marketing, we call this our mechanism, maybe even USP. And the way I did it was with, initially, this was before I went keto. I did it with intermittent fasting. I was one of the first guys doing that. I did it with intermittent fasting, HIIT cardio. That was my thing. I got HIIT cardio videos on YouTube to this day, man. They got like 10 million views. And then it was intermittent fast. So that was my mechanism. Now think about it. 15 years ago, how many guys were there on the internet helping men aged 20 to 30 get ripped for the huzz with intermittent fasting and HIIT cardio? That's how you stand out. And here's the beauty of it. When this person who wants to solve this problem this way finds you, they can't price shop because there ain't a bunch of you. This is how you stand out. And then I changed it as I got older. As I aged and I changed and matured, it was like guys 30 to 40 still wanted to get ripped. Then it was like not for the hoes, it was for the family, right? You know, you want to keep up with your kids. Maybe you don't want your kids getting teased because you're so fat at the parent-teacher conference. Maybe your wife doesn't want to make love to you no more. Instead, she watching Brandon Carter videos, DJing. Fick you. And then as I got older, I stopped doing HIIT cardio, right? Because again, I'm thinking about preservation, my joints. And I stopped doing intermittent fasting. I went keto, right? The ketogenic diet and more like bodybuilding style training. So check this out. Still though, how many trainers help men aged 30 to 40 get ripped with keto and bodybuilding? Like how many of them focus on that? Not many. When this guy who wants to solve this problem this way finds me, he can't price shop. Because even if another generalist trainer, some fitness guy or fitness girl said they can help them with that, it's like, who's he going to pick? Person who specializes in that, or the person who says, oh yeah, I'll do some of that too. And this is how you set yourself apart. This is one of the most important part of becoming a successful online trainer is niching down. We got to be real niches. So here's what you got to do. And the study guide will help you with this. And it goes into more detail, but you have to figure out what gender, what age group, make sure it's 10 years. What problem do you want to focus on? And the problem could be anything. I have some trainers, some people we coach, they only help women get bigger butts, right? They doing God's work. They're making the planet better for all of us. Then we have some trainers who only help people lose fat. That's their main thing. We have some trainers who only help people build muscle. We have some trainers who only help people get better for their sport. It could be anything, right? We have some trainers who help people get ripped, but they do it with they change the mechanism. They help the same person accomplish the same goal, but with vegan diet or something like that. It doesn't really matter what your niche is. The most important thing is that you have one. There's some niches that don't work. Like you don't want to train kids, you have to be adults, and you don't want to get people who are too old because they ain't on the internet. My mom just started watching YouTube. Once you have your niche dialed in, and if you need some help with that, the study guide in the description will help. But once you have your niche dialed in, now it's time to start making content on social media. So social media is going to be our main client acquisition channel, at least when you're first starting. I don't like any of my students to start running any ads until they're making 10K a month, because you can get to 10K a month with just social media. And I'm gonna show you how, even if you have a small following. Also, if you start running ads before you can convert organic traffic, then you're gonna waste your money because you still don't know how to make sales. You still don't know how to make content well. You don't know how to get attention. You don't know how to convert that attention into clients. So why would you spend money on it if you don't have a proven system yet? So we're gonna start making content immediately, and you're gonna focus on short form content. This means Instagram Reels, TikTok videos, and YouTube Shorts. Again, I don't recommend any of my students make long form content on YouTube or any other platform until they're at least 10K a month and able to quit their jobs, right? If you want to make long form YouTube content, make enough money to quit your job, because this is like a real grind and it's slow. It takes a long time to build up a good long form audience. However, you can build up your YouTube just on shorts quick. One of my students, his name is Corey Armstrong. He was working in a gym in the Detroit ghetto when I first met him, training drug dealers, girlfriends, chicks with cigarette burns and neck tattoos on them. And he joined my program, High Ticket Trainer, and he had 1,000 followers. I told him how to make content, stuff I'm about to teach you. And I told him how to get clients and all that. And now Corey makes about $400,000 per year as an online trainer. And he grew his YouTube to almost 400,000 subscribers, all with short form. Short form is the key. It's the cheat code right now. So what kind of content are you going to make? You're going to post content to help this guy accomplish that goal with your method. And I'm going to break down some examples of it for you in a second. But the reason that it's going to work so well is because that guy who wants to solve that problem, he probably has friends and family who are similar to him. So what do? He's going to share it. That's how you grow on social media. People share your stuff, But it's also how you're going to get clients. So what kind of content are you going to post? There's a lot of different content styles you can post, but for the purpose of this video, I'm going to focus on 3 different content styles. The first one is called talking head. So this is when you're kind of just sitting down or standing up and you're just talking to the camera. Let me show you some examples. Here's an example from Corey Armstrong. I told you he's one of my students who makes over $400,000 a year as an online trainer. It's just a talking head video. Let me show you where he's giving some sort of advice.
Ways to lose body fat, watch what you drink. And there's 3 drinks that keep your stomach big as hell. Alcohol. Alcoholic beverages kill your body's ability to repair from workouts and metabolize fat. The second drink is sugary, sweet drinks like fruit juice, soda. It has no nutritional value, and if you ain't running the marathon as soon as you drink it, that shit is gonna sit on you and keep your stomach big. 0-calorie beverages. A lot of you guys fill your day with this.
So basically, he's just giving advice. He's just talking to the camera, giving advice. That works really well. I'll show you another example. This is from one of our students, Corinne Sutton. He does about $250,000 a year, and he focuses on helping men who are vegan get in great shape, build muscle, burn fat.
Here's the best cardio for heart health. When it comes to your heart, the heart is the most important muscle in the body. It's what keeps you alive. So you want to make sure you're exercising that as well. You don't want to do steady state because this is a low impact cardio. You want to do something that's a little.
So basically, he's just giving advice, right? You see another good talking head. This is one of my most successful students. Her name is Kelly Nicole Fit. When I first met her, she was in college. It was her senior year. And she told me when she joined my program that it was her goal to not have to get a real job when she got out of college. She wanted to be making enough money by the time she graduated or she doesn't have to get a real job. And she accomplished that. She was making $20K a month by the end of her senior year of college. Last year, she did $1.2 million. This year, she's over $2 million just as an online trainer. Not selling no supplements, not selling no merch, no endorsements, just online training.
My goal is to lose body fat and gain muscle at the same time. I'm gonna save you so much time and effort and give you the perfect macro split. Yeah, that doesn't exist because losing body fat and gaining muscle at the same time is often just a dream or a marketing scam. Yes, it can happen if you're newer to lifting weights, but if you're not newer to lifting and you just stay at maintenance and
this is a talking head video, but it's a little more dynamic because she's kind of switching positions in the same spot every few sentences, but that's fine. This is a good example. So basically, she's just giving advice, helping her demographic solve her problem with her methodology. And there's going to be examples of all these in the study guide. You can do what's called voiceover fitness tips. This is where you post like B-roll of yourself doing stuff, and then you do a voiceover giving the tips. Well, here's one of my examples.
Burn fat and keep it off. First, you have to track how many calories you burn each day, both from exercise or just from walking around. You can track it with your Apple Watch, Fitbit, or an Oura Ring. Then you have to track how many calories you consume each day. I'm a psycho, so I keep a scale with me even at restaurants, and I track everything I eat with MyFitnessPal. And then it's really just mad. For every pound.
Right, so basically what I do is I have just a collection of like B-roll, me working out, doing stuff, and I'm talking over it. This kind of content works really well because you can show off your body. The stuff that you're talking about, you can display it with the clips that you use. What's really important is to actually write in the caption. And this is really easy with ChatGPT or whatever, right? You want to write in the captions. Here's another voiceover example. This is from one of my students, Jen Caesar. So Jen, she has a full-time job as a nurse, and she has 2 kids, boys, so you know they're active. In the first 6 months of joining my program, she made over $100,000 starting from scratch, and she didn't have a big following or anything. So this is another voiceover.
Oh my God, guys, you have to make these protein bagels. They were so good. So you're gonna add flour, salt, and baking soda to a dish. You're gonna stir all of your dry ingredients together, and then you're gonna add your yogurt.
So basically, she's just fitting this recipe and she's talking over it. What's important is all of these videos that I'm showing you were shot on an iPhone. And some of them like regular iPhones, not even the newest Ultra Max one like mine, like a regular iPhone. Except for Corey's. Corey's was shot on an Android. I know, right? Wow. I have an Android as well. I got both phones. We don't live a life of scarcity here. Here's another voiceover from Kelly, my student doing $2 million a year. So just B-roll.
never saw any progress from it, listen up because this is why. A lot of people think they just need one macro calculation and eat at that forever and they'll make progress. But that's simply not the case. A lot of people need to go through.
This is like clips of her working out and cooking and she's talking over them. There's another style, it's called text only. This is when you have B-roll on the screen and you just put text. This is the easiest stuff to do. Here's an example from Kelly. All right, so it's just some music and her laying there and just no voiceover, it's just text. She's just showing her butt, put some text on the screen. But that's important because her target market, mostly women followers. So this is not a thirst trap. This is like women, like her target market wants this body, right? So she's putting it on display. Here's another example from Kelly. She's really good at this. So she just put a trending audio, B-roll of herself shot with the iPhone, and she just put some text on the screen. She's on course to make $2 million this year as an online trainer. All of her content is done with the iPhone. The key is she's giving advice. All these videos are giving advice to help that target market accomplish a specific goal in a specific way. Here's a text only one for me. I still train people online. I walk the walk. So it's just text only. I didn't really give advice. I told them to read the caption. And in the caption, I gave advice. And then I had a CTA at the end. Some people think people don't read the captions. They do. I said, comment 6-pack, and I'll send you something, right? And you'll see a lot of people are commenting 6-pack on here, you know? They had to read the caption to see that. People will read your captions. That's why you don't want to waste that opportunity to contact with them. I mean, those are the 3 styles, but now we have different structures. And don't worry, I'm gonna show you how to get clients from this in a minute. But I just want to break down the main styles that I think work for you. There's more than this. I just want to give you the basics right now so you can start making some money immediately. So one thing that works really well is to use your transformation. So here's Kelly's, one of her transformations. See, it's a text only video where she's talked about her transformation. Her target market is going to resonate with them. There were chicks who were probably hot, then they start hitting their late 30s, at 25. Chicks be falling off at 25. Chicks in middle America, they were hot in their 20s. They were hot in college. And then a few years after college, life came at them fast. They want to get back to this, right? And you might think she's not giving no advice. She's just teaching. No, she said, read the comments, right? Boom. People read these captions, man. I'm telling you. Here's another one of Kelly's transformations.
Starting over, here are 3 things I would do differently to get from here to here twice as fast. Number 1, instead of training 6 days a week, I would only train 4 days a week. Training too much inhibits recovery and progress.
She did another transformation video. She made the same video basically in a different style. Like the first one was text only. This one is voiceover. Well, it started with talking head, then it went voiceover. You can make the same video, the same content using different styles. You can match them up. Another one you can use is what I eat in a day. Like, so check this out. This is me. This is what I eat.
Here's what my pantry looks like.
Or just like the foods that I eat. Boom.
Sparkling water, tons of sparkling water.
Talking head.
And I got a whole surplus at the bottom, whole reservoir. I buy it in bulk because I drink like 2 or 3 of these per day.
Here's another one.
I've been keto for 8 years. Here's what a full day of eating looks like. I start off with 2 cans of sardines. Then I have some matcha green tea right before my first workout. Nothing crazy, just a little warm up to get the blood flowing. Don't want to get too crazy. Then I hit the gym. Did about 30.
This is like what I eat in a day voiceover. Here's another one. I did what I eat in a day on keto, but it's just text only. So you can make the same kind of content, just keep switching up the style. Another structure you can do is a client testimonial.
Good job. Runs her own business and was still able to lose 15 pounds in 2 months. Together, we tailored a plan that fit into her busy life. Because let's face it, some nurses don't have time for 2-hour workouts or weekly meal prepping. Now she's leaner, stronger, and more energized to crush those long shifts and her business. So if you're a busy mom or just a woman juggling a million things, this is your reminder. You don't need more time, you just need a better plan. And that's where I come in. So DM me goals and let's see if we're a good fit to work together.
Now, here's the thing. She helps moms lose fat working out at home. So like all her content is home workouts. Like she really does only work out at home and she's in great shape and she's a mom. So when you look at her content, you'll see the kids in the background sometimes, you'll see her on vacation with her family and you'll see her working out at home. You see how she stands out, right? Think about a mom with a bunch of kids who doesn't have time to go to the gym. That mom is going to hire a 20-year-old fitness chick who's in the gym all the time. Nah, man, she's going to see Jen and be like, yo, this is exactly what I need. How can I look like her without having to go to the gym while taking care of my family? And Jen, she talks about how she's a nurse. So she resonates with them people because all her clients have jobs. And if you got a job, $80 a week is not a whole lot of money to you, right? Everybody who's saying $80 a week is too much, you don't have a job, man. I know you don't have a job. You gotta work. All our clients gonna have jobs. She still keeps her job. And she made $200,000 in the last 6 months, right? Because this doesn't take a whole lot of time. She filmed all this with her phone. She still has a job, kids, and she's training her clients. Like if I go through everything about making content, this video is gonna be 17 hours, probably longer than that, right? But I just wanna give you the basics to get started. You can also do your favorite foods to burn fat or build muscle, your supplements you like, stuff like that. And you can switch them up with the 3 different styles. That's very important. So the 3 different styles: talking head, voiceover, text only. You can have a video about your favorite supplements, make that video all 3 ways. Now, here's the thing. Before we get into content, let's talk about how we get clients from this content. This is why you don't need a whole lot of followers to make money as an online trainer. Remember, we only need 25 clients. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna post short form content, videos, and you're gonna DM everyone who engages with the content. So this is every comment, every like, everyone who likes your content, and everyone who follows you. You're gonna DM them. And here's how the DM script's gonna go. I recommend that your first DM is actually a video. Like take out your phone and send a video. I'll tell you what to say in a minute. But the reason this is so important is because you may be thinking, how do I compete with all these other people? How do I compete with all these big creators? I only got 1,000 followers. That's how you compete, by getting personal with them. That's your advantage. Joey Swole is not gonna personally send them a video. Jeff Nippert ain't gonna send them a personal video just for giving him a like. This is how we can stand out. Where we lack in volume, we can make up for with real connection. The people following Jeff Nippert aren't gonna have a real connection with him. Jeff don't know you exist. If you died today, Jeff wouldn't even know. So what we're gonna do is have a real connection with these people, and it starts off with a video. The reason I recommend a video is because, you know, so many people send automated text, and people send text all the time. They're less likely to take it seriously. But if you send a video, things change. And here's the thing, imagine a girl slides in your DM. Women don't slide in my DM because I'm chopped, I'm cooked, ugly. You know what I'm saying? No woman wants a 6'2" multi-millionaire with single-digit body fat. Blech. It's hard out here for us, man. But let's say a woman slides in your DM. Now, if she sends a text, cool, right? But if she sends a video, you're gonna watch that video and you're gonna respond to that video. If a fucking 4 slides into your DM with a video, you're gonna at least respond. And that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna slide in them DMs with a video. And it's gonna open up like this. I'm gonna give you the whole script, and don't worry if you don't have it fucking memorized right now. The script is also gonna be in the study guide attached in this video, so you can download it for free, all right? But the script goes like this. Hey, Dequan, thanks for the follow. Let me know, man, are you trying to accomplish some fitness goals, or are you just enjoying the content? I got that opener from the homie, Dan Martell. That's my guy. Known him for years, before he was famous. But anyway, that's a great opener. And you want to do it with a video just because, remember, the way we can beat the bigger influencers is with connection. And we only need 25. When we shoot our shot, we're shooting with the right ammo, right? And the video opener is the right ammo. Now, before I give you the rest of the script, you might be thinking, oh man, can I just use the same video over and over again? Somebody's thinking that right now. And I'm like, man, how about you stop being fucking lazy, bitch, for once in your life? It's gonna take you the same time to find the video and attach it as it took me to just whip out my phone and send a quick video. In fact, it's gonna be quicker, probably, for me to just hit the fucking button, hold the record, send a video message. Stop being lazy. And you can connect more because you can actually use their name. See how I use the name? So if I was you, I would find their real name and say their name. People love when you say their name. That's one of the keys of sales, is say people's name. Make it personal. And also, if you try to send a bulk video, let's say you do a story earlier that day and you're wearing some different clothes, and now you send them a video where you're wearing different clothes. And it's like, man, I watched this dude's story. He was wearing the red shirt all day and he sent me a video wearing the tank top. Man, you ain't real, is what he's gonna think. Now you just squandered the opportunity to really connect. So anyway, you slide in your DMs. Oh, one more thing before I get to the rest of the script. This is only gonna really work on Instagram. So Instagram and Facebook, you can still post to TikTok, you can still post to YouTube Shorts, but they don't have a robust DM system. So it's gonna be difficult to get clients there. I still recommend you post there. You're gonna post the same content you post on Instagram, you're gonna post that on TikTok and YouTube. Instagram and Facebook are gonna be your money makers, all right? So you're gonna send that DM video, and then if they say that they're just checking out the content, you say, thank you and you move on. If they say that they're trying to accomplish the fitness goals, then you start talking to them. Now make sure you don't sound like a robot. In fact, I don't even recommend you copy and paste this shit. I recommend you stop being a lazy ass motherfucker and just type something. Right? He might tell you what the fitness goals are, in which case you don't ask him this question. But if he doesn't tell you what the fitness goals are, you say, that's what's up, Daquan, man. What exactly are you trying to accomplish right now, man? Boom, and then he'll tell you. Talk to him like a real person, but also say, make sure you include this. How long have you been trying to accomplish that? If he doesn't tell you this, sometimes they volunteer this, in which case you don't ask him. But if he doesn't volunteer, then you ask, all right, bro, in your opinion, what's the main thing you think has been preventing you from accomplishing that goal for that amount of time? Now, here's the thing. That's where he gives you the key to the combination, right? He's going to tell you exactly how to sell them. He's going to tell you what the problem is. Now, if you have a testimonial, you're going to upload that. And then you're going to say, man, I used to have a client just like you, man. He struggled with XYZ. He had similar problems and he wasn't able to fix it until I started working with him with XYZ. And then you say, now he's able to hit that goal in record time, right? Make sure it's true, right? Don't make shit up, right? There's only a few things people have problems with, right? All the problems are pretty much the same, either inconsistent or they don't know what to do. It's going to be a version of one of those two things, right? If you trained somebody in the past, they had one of those two problems, some variation of it. You end it with, does it sound like this might be what you're looking for, Daquan? And he'll most likely say, yeah, that's exactly what I'm looking for. Then you say, how about this, man? Let's jump on Zoom and let's see if I can help you the same way I helped him. And then y'all set up a time, you jump on Zoom, and that's where you do your real sales call. And I'll explain that. I'll go into that a little bit later. But that's very important because remember, you're trying to get $1,000 from for 16 weeks of training for $300 monthly or $80 a week, right? They're not gonna click a link in your bio and give you that money, right? They're not gonna give you $1,000 from a link in your bio, bro. I ain't never did that. I'm rich. And I ain't never clicked a link in somebody's bio and spent $1,000. Don't work like that. Nobody's ever DM'd me and got $1,000 from me. People don't mind buying stuff. They just want to feel comfortable doing it. And they're not going to feel comfortable doing it over fucking Instagram. What you do is you're going to move them to Zoom. Later in this video, we're going to get into the sales script to use on Zoom. This is very important. We made connections. We talked to him. We got real personal. Jeff Nippert ain't gonna do that. He ain't got time. He's got too many followers. He ain't gonna do that. So this is another way you can stand out amongst the competition is you get personal with them, right? You build a real connection with them. Engagement to the DM to Zoom. And that's where you make the sale. And here's the thing, you don't need a lot of followers because it's all engagement. Some people be like, man, I posted a video and I only got 100 likes. You need to send 100 DMs. Did you send 100 videos? Remember, we only need 25 clients. That's all we need. You don't need fucking thousands of likes or thousands of comments to get 25 clients, bro. And the advantage you have over the big creators is they can't do this. They're not going to engage with these people. You know what I'm saying? This is how we cut through the noise. And this is the advantage we have. Now, there's another real sneaky advantage that you can use to actually get clients with a small following or zero following. Instead of focusing on the engagement you get from your posts, what if you could just go to where your niche is, where they hang out, and engage with them there? That's where a strategy we call group hacking comes in. So with group hacking, you don't have to rely on your own followers. There are Facebook groups with millions of people in your niche, and you can just go to those groups and post your content and then DM the people who engage with that content. So instead of relying on, oh man, I only got 50 likes. All right, man, so let's group hack. Fuck it. Let me show you an example. This is Corey. Corey has a lot of followers now, right? Hundreds of thousands on every platform. But when he first joined my program, all he did was group hacking because he had like 1,000 followers or something. Now he was able to grow his following by following the advice that I gave him on how to grow your following, right? Initially, it was all group hacking. His niche is intermittent fasting, helping men get ripped with intermittent fasting. So what did he do? He found intermittent fasting groups on Facebook. These groups have millions of people in it. And what did he do? He posted this, man, I got ripped on vacation. Remember, we're interacting with the people who like and comment. Look how many comments he got. He wasn't getting that on his posts back then on his own social media. He was going to where the niche was. This is another reason why it only works if you have a niche. If you just went to fitness groups, this wouldn't work because they wouldn't be excited about what you have to offer. But people who are in this intermittent fasting group, they're excited about this, man. Boom, we got a lot of comments. And what he posted is a form of copy that we teach. It's called the EPIC formula. I don't have time to go into it now, but he posted this in there, right? So he posted a story. People read the captions, and then here's important though, no call to action. So don't tell them DM me if you want to help. Don't tell them to do anything. You're just giving helpful advice. That's all you're doing in these groups because the admins will kick you out if they think you're trying to selling the group. But if you're just posting helpful advice, now you're contributing to the group, and the admins love that. So he's posting helpful advice, boom, and people started commenting, right? And he left some comments back, but then he would DM each one of these people personally. He got to over $10,000 a month just group hacking. Now he makes over $400,000 a year. But this was the genesis of it. It works really well. Here's another one of my students. This is the homie Chris. Chris's Instagram got deleted. We still don't know why. So he had no Instagram. So all he could do was group hacking. All right, so cool. He does keto, low carb for older men, right? He posted his transformation before and after. Look how many comments he got. Boom, what did he do? He started interacting with those people, DMing them, getting them on sales calls. This shit worked. Chris got up to 20K just group hacking. He did not even have an Instagram. He just started his Instagram up recently. So when people say, man, I need a big following, I don't have a big following. Bro, this motherfucker had no following. He had no Instagram. He got kicked off the platform, but he got the 20K using other people's groups, other people's following. And sometimes he would just post basic shit up in there, man. Like this, 176 comments in the keto low carb group. Another one, just fucking basic shit in there, you know? And he interacted with the people in the comments and then started DMing them. Boom, got him on Zoom. He was making 20 grand a month. But see, the thing, that wouldn't have worked if he didn't have a niche, because you got to find the niche and go to where the niche is and use the strategy I just told you. What I just showed you is a cheat code. Some of y'all can use this and go get some clients today. Now, you may be thinking, do I need to be super jacked to make money doing this? No, you don't have to be super jacked. You just have to look decent. In fact, if you just look regular, but you used to look fucked up, that's actually more attainable to the average consumer, right? Because somebody who's like super fat, he doesn't believe he can look like me. But if you used to be super fat and now you look regular, that seems more attainable to them. I've had one student, her name was Maddie Coughlin, and Maddie didn't look like a fitness model, right? But she used to be like kind of fat. She was a fat mom. You know, after she had a bunch of kids, she gained some weight. It's normal. Ended up being regular. And her niche was, she only focused on moms. So that's women moms who wanted to lose fat. Here's the thing, without going to the gym and keto. So she would put them on keto, just have them walk. And she made them count their steps that they walk every day. And they were just trying to get regular, man. These is Midwestern moms who just wanted to get to finally be regular again, right? And Maddie got the 20K a month, not looking like a fitness model. In fact, it would have been difficult for her to market to that demographic if she did look like a fitness model, because they wouldn't believe that she could do it. Let's say you don't even look regular yet. Let's say you still want to get in, you know you need to get in great shape. This is when you want to implement a strategy called Makeover Madness. So I learned this from my boy, Steve Weatherford. When I lived in New York, Steve played for the New York Giants. He actually won a Super Bowl with the New York Giants. He was a kicker. And Steve, I remember I was talking to him, he wanted to get into online training. One thing he did that I thought was brilliant, and I never asked Steve, I think Steve got fat on purpose. He didn't tell people he got fat on purpose, but he got out of shape on purpose. And then he documented himself getting ripped in 30 days. And he documented every day. And by the end, he had a crazy transformation. Then he sold that program. That's how he launched his online training. He didn't have any testimonials because he had just been an athlete. He never trained anybody. So he used himself as the transformation. And he started making crazy money. And then I saw that, and me and my boy Brian, we got as fat as we could get in like a month. And then our goal was to get as ripped as we could in 2 weeks. We called it the Terminator 2-week diet. And we documented that shit every day, had a crazy before and after, made a crazy videos about it, showed our DEXA scans before and after. We went on a crazy diet to lose that fat in 2 weeks though. And then I saw, hey man, if you guys want to get like that, hit me up. Man, made a ton of money. It was like a record week for us. So that's how it's going to work with Makeover Madness. You're going to set a goal to get in the shape you want to get in the amount of time you think it's going to take you to, and you document the whole thing, and then you sell that transformation. And that's your first transformation. If you're in a situation where you don't feel like you're in good enough shape, then you probably don't have no testimonials, right? So you're going to be your own testimonial, and that's the most valuable one. In fact, I started making more money after I did the Makeover Madness than I did before that, because I never had the transformation. I've always been in good shape since the internet came out. So I never had that dope transformation for myself. I used my clients and that was dope. But some about when it's you, People like it a lot. So that's what you're going to do, Makeover Madness. You're going to document that, get as ripped as you can, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, whatever it takes. Don't make it more than 90 days and go super hard. And this might be the first time in your life where you really got in great shape, where you finally beat this, because now you got a financial incentive. You know you're going to make money off it. So this works super well, right? And that's going to be your content until you finish the Makeover Madness. And I promise you'll get some clients from that. So that's what you do if you feel like you need to get in shape first. But you need to know how to document that. Document it and distribute the content in a way where it's compelling. And we go over it at High Ticket Trainer, my group where I train clients, but I could do like another whole hour on that. And this video is long enough already. One more thing, you may be wondering how often you should post. The CEO of Instagram, he posted a reel where he said, the more you post, the faster you grow, so you reach more people. I think you should post at least once a day. My top students, they've made enough money to quit their jobs, so they're posting like 3, 4, sometimes 5 times a day. But at least once a day, especially if you got a full-time job, once a day is cool. Because if you want to make money online, you got to be online. And don't worry about posting too much, because, for example, if I go on Instagram right now, like this was posted an hour ago, this was posted a day ago, this was posted 2 hours ago, 3 hours ago, a day ago. This was posted 8 hours ago, 3 hours ago, a day ago. It's all over the place. Your feed is not linear anymore. That changed fucking years ago. So everybody's not going to see everything you post. So don't worry about that. But you need more shots, because they're not going to see everything you post. You got to take more shots. You got to take at least one shot a day. And once you start making enough money to quit your job, if that's your goal, you want to do this full time, then you can start taking multiple shots a day. We covered how online training works, how to train your clients so they get great results, how to price your services. You can charge more than that, but don't charge less than that. We covered how to niche down so you stand out amongst the competition. We covered what kind of content you should post and how often you should post. I gave y'all a few cheat codes, including group hacking, which is the ultimate cheat code, and Makeover Madness if you're not in the kind of shape you think you need to be in. We still haven't talked about how to actually make the sale, how to actually get the money. And that's what we're going to talk about now in section 3. First of all, you got to remember you only need 25 clients to make 6 figures, a little over $8,000 per month. Now, if you want to make 10K a month, that's easy too. Then you only need like around 33 clients. That gets you around 10K a month. 34 gets you a little bit over. This is why you don't need a big following, but we got to be strategic. And again, it's going to be about that connection you have with your followers. DMing all engagement and getting them on Zoom calls. Remember, engagement either on your post or group hacking, DM, then Zoom. And the reason we have to do Zoom is because that's when we're going to build real connection, because we're actually talking to a person. But when we get on Zoom calls, what's very important is that you have a sales script. You don't want to go on these Zoom calls freestyling, making shit up off the top of your head. Here's why. Now, check out this photo. This is me with my dog, the real Wolf of Wall Street, Jordan Belfort. That's my dog. And I met him because I've been doing sales in the fitness industry for over 25 years. Put that in context. They say it takes 10 years to become an expert in something. I've been doing this for over 25 years. So I'm like 2.5 experts in one. Like, I've been doing sales in the fitness industry longer than some people selling fitness business stuff have been alive. Like, longer than these motherfuckers have been alive. And that's not the shit on them. I like those people, man. A lot of them were my students. I had amazing sales scripts that have made me literally millions of dollars for me and my students. And I went to Jordan and I paid him $25,000 over a weekend to make the scripts that I give my students even better. And here's important, right? Here's why you want to do Zoom calls, because sales calls have higher conversion rates. It builds more trust. Again, this is how we stand out amongst these big influencers. Mike Thurston ain't gonna get on a Zoom call with you, bro. People would feel way more confident buying from someone they really talk to. They'll trust them or they'll believe it more, right? And it's the easiest way to make sales. Now, here's the thing. You have to have a solid script. For example, if you've watched The Wolf of Wall Street, the movie, remember the scene? Remember he got these motherfuckers from off the street. They were like regular guys, janitors and taxi drivers and shit. And they started selling really well because of what? Jordan gave them what? The script that everyone was reading from. Jordan, one of the best salespeople to ever live, is reading from what in the movie? Script. You got to have a script. I can do a whole week workshop on sales scripts, right? But let me give you the basics of a good sales script right now. So your beginning, you want to have like an intro. This is where you build rapport. Hey man, what's going on? Glad you could make it. Don't spend too much time on this shit asking how the weather. It's just really, hey man, thanks for being on time, man. What's going on? All right, cool, man. Boom. Then you jump into it and you really go over their goals. I told you your goals over the DM, but now we want to get into the why. why they want to accomplish that and what's it going to do for them, right? So be like, yo, DeMarcus, man, I remember you saying you want to lose 15 pounds. What made you pick that number? All right, man, what's that going to do for you, man? How's that going to change your life? Now we want to get down to the why, the real why. So you might say, oh man, I have more energy. My girl would stop finger banging herself to Brandon Carter videos. You know, my kids would stop getting bullied because I'm so fat, whatever the case may be, right? And you want to get deep into the why. Then you want to get the roadblocks. Now we kind of got that in the DM, but we're going to go deeper. Pause. So you be like, all right, DeMarcus, I remember you saying that, you know, being inconsistent with your diet is the main thing that's holding you back. Can you tell me more about that? And then you say, what else has been holding you back? Like, what else do you need help with? And they're going to go in. Boom, 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 boom. Then you say something like, how's that been affecting you? Man, you've been trying all this stuff. You've been doing all this, but you still can't do it. What's been the worst part about that? This is where we bring out the pain. The roadblocks is where we bring out the pain. A lot of people will tell you to go for it, to figure out the pain and all that shit in the DM. I don't think that's the place for that. Like, you just met this person in DM. You want them to open up to you? Get the fuck out of here, man. People have made money doing it. I just don't think it's as effective. You know, it's like you slide in a girl's DM after you ask her a few questions. You be like, so you suck dick on the first date or what? You know, it's like, nah, man, it's not the place for that. Or you asking her like personal questions, like, so how many guys you fuck? You know, like you just met this bitch. And then what I do here is I go where I summarize. This is the point where I'll say something like, all right, man, you mind if I sum up everything you told me so far, just so I have a pretty good understanding of what's going on? And then I say, all right, so Daquan, you want to accomplish this goal for X, Y reason. You feel like this. You've tried doing the X, Y, Z. It hasn't really worked. And that's been frustrating to you because of blah, 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 blah. And then they'll usually be like, yeah, exactly, right? You know what I'm saying? Then I usually say something like, can I tell you how I help my clients solve problems like the ones you have? Or if I've never trained nobody before, I'd say, it would be okay if I went over how I actually solve those problems for myself. Yeah, so you might find it helpful. And then cool, boom. And then you go into what I like to call the prescription. Now, what you don't want to do is start saying, oh, this is what I do for you. I train you real good, daddy. I give you workout plan, I give you diet plan, I give you, no. You say, hey, this is what I do for my clients. And then you want to relate that to their pain. So boom, like for example, if he said that not knowing what to eat was one of the problems, then one of the prescriptions is, well, one of the first things I do is I give my clients a detailed diet plan, custom diet plan made just for them, excludes any of their dietary restrictions, and even add some of the foods that they enjoy. And this way they know exactly what to do, and they never feel lost. They never feel like they're trying to figure it out. And this allows them to finally have a game plan and takes away all the confusion. Does that make sense, DeMarcus? Right? Everything in your stack, right? You can get custom workout plan, custom meal plan, accountability. You have to position it as the cure to their pain. And it should only cure their pain. So this is why you want to go deep in the roadblock. You want to get as many roadblocks as you can because you got more problems you can solve. You only want to present yourself in a way where it solves the problems they have. If they say, man, I know exactly how to diet, it's just to work out. And we don't really talk about the diet that much. You know what I'm saying? You can say you can do it, but you want to like, don't make a big deal about it. I give my clients a workout plan, but most importantly, I give them a custom diet plan. It's because if it doesn't cure their pain, they won't care about it, right? So we only want to go into detail about the stuff that cures their pain. For example, there's a bunch of stuff in the pharmacy that I hope I never have to take. All I want is the Cialis, the testosterone, and the Adderall. I hope I never have to take anything else in there. Maybe a Plan B every once in a while. Back in the day, the B used to stand for Brandon. I had chicks eating Plan B like it was on their diet plan, like it was part of their macros. It was Plan A for me. I digress. I only want the stuff in the pharmacy that cures my pain, solves my problems. I don't give a fuck about nothing else in there. Just like they don't give a fuck about nothing you have to offer unless it cures their pain. So that's your prescription. Then at the end, after you give your prescription, then you say, man, does this sound like it might be what you're looking for? And they should say, yeah, because if you follow directions, motherfucker, everything that you offer is the exact cure for their pain. Here's the thing. This is the most important part. To me, I think of a sales call is finding out where the pain is, finding out what the roadblocks in the pain is. And then your prescription should be the exact cure for that. And then they'll say, all right, cool, man. Well, here's how much it costs to work for me. Boom, price. And then this is where if there's any objections, you handle the objections. I don't have time to go over all of that right now for sure. I can do a whole weekend seminar on objection handling, right? But that's the main part. That's the main part of your script. The script I give my students is way more detailed to that. This is a free YouTube video, man. I'm really doing the best I can. There's more on that in the free study guide that you can get below, right? So that's basically the game plan. Find your niche, start posting content on your social media and in groups where your niche already is. Everyone who engages with that content, you DM them with the DM script I gave you. Again, there's a copy of it in the free study guide. Then you get them on a sales call, close them, and then you train your clients. You can use ChatGPT to help make the meal plan and the workout plan. Gronk could do it too, but it just might add a little bit of racism. I don't know what your niche is. That might be applicable. I don't know. You get the workout plan, then you give them the diet plan and workout plan, and then you make sure they follow it and keep them accountable with the tracking sheet that I gave you. You can get that sheet. It's going to be attached to the study guide. So it's a free resource for you. You're going to contact your clients every day to make sure they track their numbers. Whether they did or didn't, you're going to contact them, because if they did do it, you got to make sure you encourage them. If they didn't do it, you need to punish them. But they really just need to know that you're watching them. You got to keep them accountable. Any question they send you, you'll answer it when you hit them in the morning, when you hit your clients up at night. But you're going to make sure they're communicating with you on a different communication channel, so they're not blowing up your motherfucking phone when you're with your family, your friends, or your girlfriend, wives. And if you want to take it to the next level, especially if you're just starting off, I recommend you do a check-in call with them once a week. And that's the whole game plan. You're welcome. I just broke this whole shit down for you. You know how long it took me to learn this shit that I just showed you? Now, this is just the tip of the iceberg, but it's enough for you to start getting some clients right now. In my program, HCT, I really go way more in depth into all these topics, and I actually help keep the students accountable. Every student gets their own one-on-one coach, and we do live calls every week. I answer every question that students ask, right? This should be enough game for you to get started, right? Click the link in the description to download the free study guide, and you're welcome. Enjoy.